It is Parks and Recreation Month. I'm sure Charlotte was really excited about that. And in honor of doing that, we decided to choose a local program that is from a Parks and Rec department, something unique that they're doing. And summertime is a great time, I think, to really incorporate and talk about our summer programs. Okay, with that, I'm going to introduce Director Eric Brown from the City of Dania Beach, and he is going to take it from here to talk a little bit about some of their summer programs and introduce his team. Thanks, Eric.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Eric Brown from the City of Dania Beach, and I'll just talk about traditional programs a little bit, but we do have one of our, like I said before, one of our capable lifeguards on the call who would actually talk about our junior lifeguard camp. But we have traditional camps going on with, field trips, kickball, basketball, the traditional lunch programs that are actually taking place at 3 of our sites now in the City of Dania Beach. And what's so unique is that this is the first year in the City of Dania Beach that we have 4 different camps running at one time. Dania Beach is a small city in Broward County where I think we had 1 summer camp running prior to me coming to Dania Beach. And well, 2, we had 1 traditional camp and we had the junior lifeguard camp. And now we're running 4 camps, which is amazing. So we're excited about that. Cassie Warren, our Assistant Director for Parks and Rec, came on board a few months ago and she hit the ground running and she has not stopped running yet. She's like that Energizer bunny. She continued to run and never get tired. So we're grateful for that. Guys, I'm gonna go off because I'm in another meeting about a FERDAP grant that's gonna bring more good news to the City of Dania Beach on our beach. And I have a deadline to meet and it was yesterday. So I'm gonna actually turn it over to Alice, who's gonna give you guys great insight on what's taking place on Dania Beach. And I'll see you guys soon. Cassie and Alice will take over from here. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, Alice, your show.
Alice, I think if you could just give us kind of a little history on the program, how long it's been around, what we do with the program, what the age range is, that would be great.
Okay, so we started in 2013. First of all, can everybody hear me? You guys can hear, right?
Yes.
Okay. We started in 2013, and we were a very small program, and we actually opened up our ages a little wider than most of the other neighbor beaches just to get the program off the ground. So we've continued to hold it open from 7 years old all the way up to 16. Most programs start at age 9, so we've taken in a lot of the little ones and brought them up. We probably only had a handful of kids when we started, maybe like 6 kids, and they would stay for all the sessions the whole summer. And now we have 30 kids per session. We run 5 sessions. They're each 1 week, and we have a wait list. So we don't hurt for numbers ever. And I only wish we could do more and take more kids. But that's kind of where we started from, and we've definitely grown quite a bit.
And Alice, can you just touch quick on, what a day in the life of the camp looks like?
Yeah, so as junior lifeguards, it's not like a traditional camp. So there's not really the, arts and crafts. We're not really going to watch a movie or anything like that. Is very unique in what it offers. As far as giving them those life-saving skills and the physical component of it. Definitely still fun, but it's a very, should I say, not maybe like paramilitary structured, kind of giving them the basis of what we do and what kind of mindset we work with. So on a typical day, they're coming in and we hold them to a very high standard for being responsible for their own equipment, getting set up. And also we have an internal structure where the older kids kind of step in and help the younger kids. So sort of a built-in mentorship. So on a typical day, we set up, we get into lines, we do some calisthenic type warm-ups, and then we'll move to the water. And throughout the week, we build on the skills, starting with just the basics, the understanding the currents, the water entry, the water exit, and then we start adding in equipment. As they're swimming, we're going to give them buoys and learn how to swim with the buoys. Then we build on that, and then maybe they're doing rescues and they're rescuing, you know, their partners, the other kids in the camp. We give them the paddle boards. So it's a very condensed version of how we train, and it's just giving them that exposure. And then the more times they want to attend the camp, the more they're able to build on that.
I think one of the big things Alice touched on, and I know we talked to Holly quickly about, but obviously living in South Florida, water safety, life safety is a really big thing in all of Florida, where you've got so many pools and lakes and,
Right.
and oceans. So there's not a lot of the program offered down and around the area. I know Deerfield Beach offers it, Dania offers it. I believe Hollywood also offers it. Do you know of any other cities that offer it?
Fort Lauderdale typically does. However, due to some COVID setbacks, they are not hosting this year. Miami sometimes does. Their programs differ a little bit from ours. They're all kind of the same objectives, but they're all run a little bit differently. Of course, biased towards ours, offering the most. But I think a lot of programs haven't quite returned to full swing yet since COVID.
Thank you guys for sharing. Cassie, yesterday when we were talking, one of the things that stood out to me was this solution for our older youth. And something that this group has talked about, as well as the network, is finding new solutions that can support older youth. And so I know that you said that you started, Alice, you said you started at age 7. Now that you have these wait lists and all of that, what is your age distribution now that you've become so popular?
So now we actually have a very wide age range. Every week's a little bit different, but I would say that each demographic from elementary up to high school is equally represented now. And we have started getting some of the older kids that are starting to realize that this is kind of a career opportunity, whether it's a summer job or something they can use long-term, or to kind of build their resume. Is just so many stepping stones that you can do with ocean rescue. So we do have a good handful of those older kids, and they know that it's a great way to start their career opportunity if this is something that they're interested, or even if it's not, it's definitely something excellent to put on your resume. So we are starting to have more of those older kids, but I would say that at this point in time, we have equal representation across all the ages, from the very little kids all the way up through high school.
And it's really important, like Holly mentioned, that this goes up to the high school age, because that's one thing that does lack in the Parks and Recreation world is, you know, summer programming for the teen age level high schoolers. You know, a lot of summer programs only go up to the age of 12, or they go up to the middle school age, but they don't hit that high school age. So it's great to be able to offer that to our older students as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes we're even taking older kids that want to work for student hours. And we've had a lot of older kids that have exceeded the age of the program, and they come back and they volunteer coach, and they just step in and help in a lot of ways. And they've kind of become part of the fabric of our program.
Okay, so I have one more question, and then I'll open it up to everybody else. I recall that sometimes the various different parks and recs in cities that offer these types of programs will have some sort of competition at the end of beach season. Yeah. Is that still happening? What does that look like? Is there any kind of brag moments that you guys have? Is it competitive? I just want to, you know, there's something that's kind of fun about the camaraderie that might generate from something like that.
Yeah, so you definitely just touched on one of my absolute favorite components of ocean rescue lifeguarding. We have our own regionals coming up in a few weeks, but the junior guards have a separate regionals, which I believe will be hosted in Hollywood this year. So in the past, what I've done is I've tried to take the kids that are interested in a little more experience. We'll take them to local tournaments and competitions. Fort Lauderdale typically hosts a states tournament, and that kind of gears them up for their regionals. It's super competitive. There's a lot of kids there that have, been swimming on swim teams and whatnot from a very young age. And my own personal brag on this, we have one of our kids that started the first year of the program with us. He probably came in as a 12 or 13-year-old and stayed in the program all the way up until the family actually moved out of the area. But we just received a message from him. He's been hired as a full-time guard in Flagler, and he continues to compete for us at regionals and is one of our stud athletes. So that is my big brag. That is my best hope to get, if I even got one kid out of the entirety of it or every session, but to see someone like see it all the way through. I know they're not all interested in it as a career option, but to see someone fulfill that and take the steps and continue to compete, that is really a big end goal for us. So yes, very competitive. They will compete in a multitude of events, from swimming, paddleboarding, and then the multidisciplinary where they do run, swim, paddles, a lot of team-oriented events in a relay type fashion where there's rescues. And it's really great to see the kids from other agencies. You make fast friends. Hey, you don't have a team? All right, you're on this team, and you jump on a multi-agency team. They make friends across the board. So it's amazing to see these kids come in, whether it's their first time or their 6th year. And, they're just able to do these things that as an adult, we have to get up early and train every day, and that they're just able to do it, and the joy that they get out of it, the smiles on their faces. It's totally worth all the sand in my car and getting up early and all that.
That is absolutely awesome. I absolutely love that something that might have just been let's put our kid here for supervision turned into something with way more than that, which I think is the power that we like to speak to with after school and out of school time. So congratulations on that. Charla, I'm going to put you on the spot because I know that Parks and Rec is your world. Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask or anything that you'd like to highlight with them?
So I think with all the agencies struggling to even find lifeguards to have any of their pools open or have their ocean fronts even like monitored right now, do you think that this program grows those opportunities like naturally? I think it would be really interesting to explore that more and put that out there more so that agencies realize that this is something they could do to kind of grow their own staff.
Yeah, absolutely. To be able to do it in-house or just kind of show them the potential. I think a lot of the older kids maybe initially were placed in the program by a parent and they weren't exactly on board. But when they start to realize like, hey, I could work at Publix this summer, or I could work in a restaurant, or I can make even more money and have a job that will be long-standing with me. And, you put things on your resume, and these kids, like I've known a lot of them since they were 5, 6, 7 years old, and their parents put them in the program, and now they've gone from a summer pool lifeguard to a full-time beach guard, and then possibly, some of them move on to Coast Guard or nursing or military, any of those things. But getting them to represent your city is something that I don't think we could be any more proud of. And if we share those opportunities with them, I think that would be amazing, because so many parents are asking, well, what can they do with this for a job? And on the beach right now, our hiring age is 18, and they need to already have completed high school and or have their GED. So showing them that, hey, there are still opportunities for you within the city, whether it's at a pool or out here on the beach, I think to kind of fill in that link and get them to have those opportunities and be part of our agency would be something that we could work on and definitely grow.
That's really great. Do you have opportunities for like scholarships for kids that maybe wouldn't normally be able to get in to do something like this? Is it cost prohibitive at all, or is there?
So I do think that our program tends to be a more affordable option as far as summer programs that are out there. But we have had parents come to us and tell us, hey, we want to do this. We are not able to afford it. And the child that I mentioned earlier that got hired in Flagler, when he initially did it, the family approached us. They were trying to complete multiple sessions, and they said if we could just wait to process their payment, and kind of stated that they were struggling to come up with the money. My coworker and I actually decided to just split the difference and sponsor this child. And I tell him all the time that was the best decision we ever made. Like, we gave this kid, he has his job now, and he loves it. He's stuck with it, and he didn't make us regret our decision. And that a lot of that came from the parents. They instilled him with that work ethic. But yeah, in the past, we have personally sponsored some of the students, but it's something that we've talked about. We would love to put something together for our lower income schools, the elementary schools in the area. And then our biggest issue was not necessarily the funding of the cost of the camp, but what we would need to work on is transportation and aftercare opportunities. And that's where we struggle with. We're only so much of a staff, and after we coach, we return to our normal duties and go, we're going to the tower and fulfilling our regular day job tasks. So that is a huge objective for us. I think it's something I see that we could do down the road, but at the moment we need to figure out what the stepping stones are to get there.
Well, it sounds fantastic.
And one thing Alice touched on is the camp it's a half day camp, so it's not an entire day. So when she mentions the aftercare portion of it, the kids are done at 12:30, then where do they go? Do they go to an aftercare camp of ours? But that our aftercare camp only goes to the age of 12, so it limits that crossover there.
So once again, we see this kind of gap for the 12 to 17-year-olds to kind of, and this is not unique to you guys. I think that any of our other speakers, our members here today from their various state agencies or regional departments would share that with you as well. I want to thank you for joining us on a Friday. Celebrate or just congratulate you on the success that the program is having, growing it from, like you said, from just a couple of kids to this waitlisted program, and of course for the very personal story that you shared with not only supporting that one kid, but just the success that he was able to go. I think that's exactly why we like to invite local programs, is to hear that it takes that one kid, and sometimes it's like, if it's just that one kid, it's absolutely worth the work that we're doing and investing in this space. So congratulations again, and thank you for joining us. And before I move on in the agenda, I want to just ask some of our other speakers, do you have any questions or comments that you wanted to share with the Dania Beach team here today?